Hi, everyone. Lisa Haven here. And with everything that's going on with, we know what happened in Vegas, and it's unfortunate. I am still just, my hearts and prayers are out to all the families and victims impacted on that. But with that and what's going on with North Korea and the economy, now the economy has kind of been pushed under the rug, and it really shouldn't be, because I think the economy is in an unstable path right now. So what I wanted to do with today's report is bring on TradeGeniusAcademy.com, Bob Kudla, and he's going to tell you guys some interesting stuff about the going downs of the economy, some of the things that the rich and powerful are trying to suppress. For starters, what we're going to talk about specifically is the tool to resist the elite, the banking system, how to opt out of the banking system, and just kind of build up your own empire, if you will, because the chaotic times that we're faced with ahead can get a bit bumpy, and I fear that they very well might. So with that, Bob, are you over there with me?
I'm with you, and I actually agree with you 100%. You always seem to read my mind, Lisa.
Well, good. So tell me, are we on where is the economy right now? Because I think that's the jumping point for what we have to talk about, because the ultimate goal is let's get out of the rich bankers' hands. We know the Rothschilds just cashed out a ton of money here in America. That I reported on their half-yearly report, which I've studied in detail. And so this is signaling that there is instability in our economy right now. Is that something that you would say you agree with?
Yeah, 100%. You know, anything with the elite or the left is never what they say, it's always what they do. And so, yeah, the Rothschilds, and he was very clear about it. I was really surprised how clear he was that they absolutely are going to ground. And even the bankers in Switzerland are saying the same thing. Things are unstable. And you see it with the GDP reports. You know, whenever the Federal Reserve talks, they always kind of give happy talk, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to keep asset prices high because everybody's in such debt. And so they're so fearful that if they let the stock market roll over or asset prices roll over, we're going to have a depression that's going to make, you know, the 2000 and 2008 financial crises look like toys. And we're talking a 1929 collapse. But they only have so much room to work with. And what they've been doing is that all the Federal Reserves around the world have been selling their currencies and been buying assets, but they've not been putting it into the economy. So you have retail is collapsing, as you can see it. Malls are closing. You see with the healthcare costs increasing, people have less money in their pocket. You see it with the energy prices now are moving higher, less money in people's pockets. So people are starting to go to ground, and you see delinquencies up. So auto sales are down because they can't get people financed. Housing sales are down because they can't get people financed. And credit card delinquencies are up. And the Federal Reserve is trying to raise interest rates because they're trying to push profit into the banks. And all this is going to eventually just collapse in and of itself, because they're not going to be able to sustain this, because what's going to happen, and you see it already, and this is why we talked about the cryptocurrencies about 60 days ago, is that now there is an alternative to the banking system that people don't have to play anymore. Before, you know, people would say, you know what, I'm going to opt into gold and silver. Well, the banks have figured out how to screw around with that and keep people from getting true value there, but they can't counterfeit the cryptocurrencies. So you saw that really pop this year, and now the bankers are starting to be fearful, and they're starting to talk about it being a fraud. And so now we're seeing, okay, now we have another tool to look at, you know, GDP going to zero, cryptocurrencies doubling twice this year. What it's telling us is that they're throwing money at a problem that's just going to blow up in people's faces.
Are some of the elite and rich and powerful, are they buying cryptocurrencies?
Absolutely. And I know this for a fact. So I have a really good friend who's actually in one of those societies. He was invited in. He's not of that ilk. And even his wife saying, he said, "You sure you want to be part of this?" He goes, "Hey, I want to know what's going on." He said, "They're buying hand over fist. Hand over fist." And he was not a crypto person, and he's buying it because they're going into it hard. And because they know and they understand that, you know, when this whole banking system collapses, It's the only place where you can have your assets set off to the side and to watch the carnage. And so you're going to see this whole thing lift. And what really crystallized it for me was yesterday of all days, I was sitting there and I was looking at a chart. And in 1913 is when the Federal Reserve came into being. And the price of Bitcoin now, at the price it's at now in the low 4,000s, equals purchasing power of what the dollar was worth and what it could purchase in 1913, which is profound. And so now I think that's what probably caught everybody's attention, like, whoa, I don't have to be in the banking system now to preserve my wealth. I don't have to buy real estate. I don't have to buy gold and silver. I don't have to have my money in bonds. I could just opt into a Bitcoin or a Litecoin or whatever. And as the bankers continue to debase the currency, my wealth is preserved. And I think there was a big awakening this year. And, they're talking probably in the next, 12 months, a double. And in the next 5 years, you're looking at maybe 5x move in the cryptos, because the only way the bankers are going to try to get out of this debt is they're going to have to inflate it away. And then if people don't have an alternative, you're just on that landslide, and it'll be horrible for people. So that's why we've been pounding the table on this, saying, look, guys, you have an alternative here. You don't have to put everything you own in it, but get something in there so you can have some way of preserving your wealth.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing, too. And just another reason why I bring people like you on. The cryptocurrencies, look, let's just be blunt here. If the rich and powerful are buying this up, and like your friend said, they're doing it a lot, then that's a signal for just the average Joe to do it, because, hey, they play games with our economy. We have people like George Soros, the Rockefellers. I mean, all these people at the top, rich bankers, corporate elites that are pulling the strings saying, hey, let's pull out all this cash here, crash this economy, and do this and do that. And so that's why it's important that I team up with people like you, because my heart and passion is all the listeners out there, I want them to do the best that they can do. And so I encourage everyone, check out TradeGeniusAcademy.com, his website. I know you're actually offering a 50% discount now with the code HAVEN, correct?
That's right. And in addition to that, for your listeners, is that if they buy the cryptocurrency course, which is 50% off, we'll actually let them in the trading room for free for a year, so that they can actually follow and watch how other people who are successfully trading these coins, how they do it. So you'll get some good book knowledge from the training, and then you'll get some street knowledge by watching how these other traders make money doing this. Because it's not just to sit it in there and stick your head in the ground kind of a thing. You can build wealth by buying and selling these coins. So we really see this as a fantastic opportunity.
Absolutely. So I encourage you guys, check out that website, get that information. But in a nutshell, I mean, when you look at the whole picture of it, the instability of the economy, what the powerful are doing, and we take cryptocurrencies, Bitcoins, all that's a part of it, and we look at it in a nutshell, we have to remember, and banking systems have collapsed before, correct?
Absolutely. They were designed to collapse.
Yeah. And people, sometimes that's in the back of our brain and we forget it and we put it out because it's been so long. And we have to remember that is a part of, call it a cycle, call it whatever, but it does happen. It's happened in the past. It's going to happen likely in the future. So that's why I have a heart and a passion. Let's plan for that future so you're not left at the bottom of the barrel when everybody else is asking for scraps from the government. Let's get through the hard times together. And I hate to put it that way, but because eventually we are all promised hard times, and that's what could come as a result. And that's why I encourage everyone, go to TradeGeniusAcademy.com, check out his stuff, get educated in these cryptocurrencies, and then move on it. Do it.
Absolutely. Be a grasshopper. Don't be an ant. You got to realize when they collapse these banking systems, the elites get more wealth. People don't realize that they use counterfeit currency to steal your assets. And the cryptocurrencies are a way in which the bankers can't get a hold of it. They can't confiscate it. They can't counterfeit it. And they can't steal it because they don't know exactly who you are. And so it just gives you an opportunity to resist them and to be able to hold on to some of your wealth when they either inflate this away or collapse it away. Either way it's going to happen. The way it's going now is not going to continue. Mathematically impossible. So either they're going to have hyperinflation or we're going to have a depressionary collapse.
Agreed. And that's the thing. Let me also add this, is a lot of the times those rich and powerful, those elite, they ignite these things on purpose. They mess up the economy on purpose so they can make money. That is the truth. It is a money game, and they're like, okay, let's collapse it here, but put all our ducks over here. So when this happens, because I pulled my money out, I'm making money over here. So it's all about a money game, but we have to follow that system. And that's why I like, again, people like you, Bob, because you follow that. That's what you do for a living, and it makes it a little easier for me to trade, and learn through your academy how to do those things. So make sure you guys check that out. And again, my heart is that you learn how to do this and overcome whatever trials we may face ahead. So with that, Bob, do you have any last things you want to say, and share any information you got as well?
No, I think we covered at least. I really thank you for having me on. And like I said, the next 3 to 6 months are going to be pretty profound in terms of the changes in the economy, because it's the stability has ended.
Agreed. Well, anyhow, thanks again for tuning into my channel here. Don't forget to use the code HAVEN for 50% off. And again, you'll have access to the, you said trade room for a year, right? In addition to that. So something just specifically for my channel, and the links are below. Everything can be found in the description box below, but that's traingeniusacademy.com. Use the code HAVEN. Well, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, and Bob Kudla signing out.